Time to take a deep dive into the current Bitcoin price action. The current fair price of Bitcoin lies around 67,899. Okay, so we're still in the high regions of Bitcoin, but something monumental has occurred. Something has happened that has not happened in a very long time, and that is, on our 4-hour market structure, we have officially broken market structure bearish. So we're going to be talking about, what Bitcoin has in store for us next. We're going to be planning our weekend, and we're also going to be looking at the global, time frames and seeing what Bitcoin may be up to next. Before we do that, let's have a look at some of the recent trades you may or may not have been able to enter based on the confirmations and based on what we teach in this channel. Okay, so let's have a look at where we were as of last stream. So last stream we said, right, we broke this high, we closed above this high, and we were saying that we could potentially enter a short from the top of the range. We can enter a short in the sense that Bitcoin has a manipulation phase where it treats this as an accumulation, manipulation followed by an expansion down, and I believe that's exactly what we got. And after that we said, but we're also looking at these levels for our supports to enter potential long scalp. So let's quickly have a look at what transpired. We're going to go back to around here. So that was where that post was made. And if you look at what market structure is telling us, so we had the initial high. So what I'm going to do is show that using a high point there. So we've got our initial high. I'm going to edit that, make it range 1. I'm also going to make that a nice color. Let's make that blue. So we had our initial range high over there, and we were saying, right, we're going to wait for market structure to rally down and then rally back up and potentially look to enter at that top, enter that trade right at the top. So what did market structure do? So it comes down, it starts to come back up. We're going to change that to about 3 bars per second so we can see it. And it does exactly that. So we're waiting to enter our trade right around here, looking for a short right around here. But remember, we're not just entering this trade, we're waiting for clear market structure to change, and we are waiting for potential, confirmations on our oscillator. So here we have it. We have that first sweep of the prior high. So our range is actually down here. We've got a first sweep of the prior high, okay? And in terms of our internal market structure, if we go perhaps on a 5-minute, we can see internally that our market structure is as follows. On that decisional leg, before that sweep, we have higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and we have that break that occurs here. Okay, so that would be our break of structure, and we would look to either enter on that break or wait for that retracement leg. Now, Bitcoin did do something interesting. What did it do? It rallied up again. Okay, and it swept it again. So it kind of had another range develop where this is the high and this is the low, and it swept that range again. So if you did enter based off of that break, well, you probably would have got stopped out. But if you waited for the reconfirmation, you didn't actually get the reconfirmation until you got that second sweep. So as I always say, make sure you're waiting for reconfirmations and you're waiting for that retracement there, because the second sweep was actually a sweep of the range high again, which was an even better trade. So after that, we can clearly see what happens. Bitcoin rallies down, and it was a pretty decent trade, I would say. So that was quite a profitable one, and I believe that was, I may be wrong, I have to check this, but I believe that was the all-time high. That's our current all-time high that we are currently observing. And if you nailed that trade, which was obviously given in this channel over here, up there, if you nailed that trade, well, you're in a very good position at the moment. You're in a great position. All right, so anyways, enough about that trade. So that trade would be a decent one. You probably would still be in it. But what happened after that trade? Well, after that trade, what I would be looking out to see is, okay, cool. So we've broken out of this range now. We're broken out of this internal range. And as we've broken out of this internal range, it's a range break. What do we expect after a range break? So after a range break, we expect a retracement for some further downward action. So if you were looking to enter that trade off of that range break, let's get rid of this. You would simply just need to wait for that retracement leg, below this range, for some further downward action. So let's see whether we get it. So we get the break, and then we rally up, and we do get a retracement. We get a retracement. Let's see how high up we go. We don't go too high up. We test the old range, and then we fall down again. So if you waited for that range break, you definitely could have entered that trade there. So that would have been a nicer play as well. Okay. And for that one, you'd put your stop loss. You watch market structure closely to put your stop loss, below the leg, the lower high that caused that retracement. All right. So that's what we had over there. So you probably could have entered that one as well, based on what we teach here on this channel. Now, next, we had a bigger range. Now, where's the bigger range? Let's get rid of all of this because we no longer need it. Where's the bigger range? We've got the range high, and we've got our range low. So what am I going to say next? Well, again, we've got another range break. We've had the high, we've had the low. We've officially broken out of this range. So what do we expect after a range break? After a range break, we expect a retracement. So if we follow market structure and just see what's happened, so we have a high, we have a low, it plays around, and then it breaks out of the range, clear break out of the range. Over there, look at that retracement. It comes back, retests their range extreme before it goes for that further downward action. All right. So again, it's doing exactly what we expect, and it's doing exactly what we are predicting it to do. So if you were looking to play that one, you would be looking to enter a short right around there. Your short will be right around there. Of course, now this could actually rally up a little bit more. It could go further deeper into our old range, and that's some of the areas we're going to be looking out for to see where our next trades might lie. So that's for what's been going on, what's the trade I personally would have entered. Now I didn't catch this one, the one at the high. Oh man, this is annoying because I set a limit order. I believe we were around, I think we were around here, yeah? And I said, you know what? I noticed that we had a little bit of supply up here, and I set a limit order. I set a limit order right around here because I just wanted to be a bit more cautious, and it just never got hit. It never got hit, and I watched all of that. So I actually didn't enter that one. I didn't catch that one. But hey, snooze, you lose. All right, so I saw my confirmations. I guess I should have just entered that one. Okay, so what's Bitcoin doing on the global time frame? Where are our next trades? Well, let's do this nice and quickly. Well, on the monthly, we know that on the monthly we have, around 16 days left before this month closes, and it does look like, starting to look like we're not going to close above that high. Remember, this is a high. We need to close above this high on the monthly to maintain bullish structure for this bull run, this supposed early bull run to continue into the halving. If we do not close above this high, there is a high chance we rotate down. There is a very high chance we rotate down. And it looks like we are, in the middle of this, bull bar. So we're going to have to watch that and see what's going on, to see what's in store for us. If we go into the daily, on the daily, remember, for us to get that rotation down, for us to actually, rally down, we do need to see a change in market structure. We need to go from bullish to bearish. And that's going to start on the 4 hour. And then it's going to go onto the daily. And then it's going to get onto the monthly. All right. So we do need to we need to keep watching that 4 hour to see whether we're going to get a change in market structure and when exactly that takes place. Now, on the daily, of course, it looks like, if I take a look, it looks like we have closed above that prior level, that all-time high, that prior high. But I'm just going to show you guys that because it's better if I show you exactly what I'm looking at, just for simplicity's sake. Okay, so that's the all-time high, the prior all-time high, and it looks like we did close above it. All right. However, what was I saying, last week? It's not a convincing close. And are we potentially looking, to print a PO3? What's a PO3? PO3 is where you have your accumulation followed by your manipulation, where it's not as high, it doesn't break as high. And then shortly after that, you get your expansion. Okay, so is this potentially what Bitcoin is, gearing up to do? So again, you have your accumulation, and then you break up, but you don't fully break, and then you have your manipulation, and then you break down. Okay, so let's just watch out for that to see, how that transpires, and make sure you have that at the back of your mind. But if we look at this, we don't have a clear as day break. I mean, on the daily, it is a break. Yes, it is a break, but it's not ferocious. It's not as vigorous as we want it to be. All right, and we're already starting to see some sort of curving down action. If we look at market cipher, we can see we're starting to curve down. The VWAP is going into the negative. Okay, so that's worth watching out for. So that's what the daily is saying. Now, if we go on to the 12-hour, what can we see? Well, on the 12-hour, something pretty similar to the daily, but it is worth noting that your weekly level, if we look at your weekly and we draw a weekly market structure, your last high and low on the weekly is around 39,093. Your last high and low on the daily is about 49,968. So these are the levels we're gonna need to take, all right, in order to rotate. And obviously we're gonna look at where our last level is on the 4-hour in a second. However, it's worth noting, look at this. This is weird, man. This is weird. This market structure, you cannot tell me this is efficient market structure. You cannot tell me this is good, because these are leaving lots of inefficiencies. Look at these inefficiencies over here. Look at that bar, massive bar, inefficient price action, inefficient price action, inefficient price action. Well, this was actually redeemed. However, what does that mean? It means as we are going up so easily, we could come down equally as easily. All right, I'm making new words up here every day, but that's exactly what you need to be wary of. And this move down, it will be very sharp, it will be ferocious, and it will be quick, because there is nothing stopping it. All right, yes, we've got this demand over here stopping it, and we've got this tiny pools and this trapped bears over here stopping it. However, these are going to be reclaimed very quickly. So get ready for that bloody day in the crypto world, where you open your Coinbase app, or you open Binance, and it's just, or you open TradingView, and it's just minus 30, 40, 50, 60%. That day is coming. Doomsday is coming. But anyways, on a more positive note, let's see what's going on the 4-hour. Like I said, so on the 4-hour, we have got that uptrend. However, what you see in green, we've got the uptrend. High, 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 low, high, 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 low, high, 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 low. Now, prior to the last few days, the level to break, the last high and low was this level over here. Okay, but that has changed. Why has that changed? Because if we go on the 4-hour, you can clearly see that we do have a market structure break. So we have high, low, high, 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 low, high, high, and then we've got a market structure break over here. So we're going to put that in red because it's bearish. What do we expect after a 4-hour market structure break? We expect that retracement leg for some more further downward action. So I'm sure millions and millions of traders are trying to catch where that retracement might take place, to catch that short, perhaps over there, if that is exactly what's going on. But in the case that we do, continue on the 4-hour bearish, this is the key important level, to break as well, followed by the level below us. All right. Now, it's important to also notice that we do have this 4-hour demand over here. Now, this is the only obstacle. Stopping it from taking out this prior 4-hour level. So, of course, if that is the only obstacle stopping it, well, there is a chance we get a reaction from that level. So we're going to be looking at that level for a potential trade, okay, a potential long trade. So that would be where my next long trade is. Now, as for shorts, if you're looking to ride this wave down, then let's see, where can we ride this wave down from? Well, as we said earlier, we broke out of this range. And if we break out of this range, well, there is a chance we get a retracement. And that retracement, could marry nicely, for that continuation down. So where is it going to occur? Well, a nice way to see where that might occur is, first of all, see exactly where we get a turning point here. If we rally down a little bit more, if we go further down and we come into this, let's say we come into this 4-hour demand, well, that's where you could look to pull your fib from and see if we can get that rotation that way. Alternatively, what you can do is what I like to do is I like to look at what the volume was like within my prior range. So I'm going to pick my volume tool. I'm just going to analyze what was that volume like until I broke structure. And that volume is telling me, that volume profile is telling me I've got my value area low here, my POC here, and my value area high here. Now this is kind of good. It's kind of good in a sense because we have our POC quite high up, and really and truly, we don't really want to go that high up in order to have some more bearish continuation rally down. That doesn't really make sense. So I guess the place to watch, is to see, look at that value area low, see if we bounce off that value area low, and also let's check to see if we've got any supply over there. So we're gonna move this over here, and we're just gonna quickly have a look to see whether we have any supply within this bearish leg down, this break out of this range. And it looks like, do we have a supply over there? Yes, we do. So we do have a 24-minute supply over there. So it's worth just drawing it out. And I'm going to draw that all the way up to the end. And I'm going to say, well, that's my level I'm going to look out for to get that bounce. And something interesting is happening. Now, what's happening? First of all, let's label that 24 minutes. I'd like to know how powerful my supplies are. The higher the time frame, the more powerful they are. And okay, so we've got this level here, which is narrowing quite nicely into this little sketch I had earlier. But also, what can we see? Well, let's take a look at what Fib might be telling us. Now, Fibonacci is a very subjective tool, so don't bet your entire life savings on it. But if we pull the Fib from the high to, let's say we do react off this zone, okay, and we're just sort of doing a thought experiment here. Let's say we do react off that zone. Now we can see that zone is actually coming in quite nicely with our 786 level, which is a magnetic level. All right, so this is my next level to watch out for my next short. Okay, of course you could get a reaction off the old range high, and I believe we already have that. I believe if we look at our range, if we get rid of this, if we get rid of that, this is our old range. Let's make this really nice and clear so people can actually see what I'm talking about. This is our old range, and on the lower time frame, we kind of have already mitigated it. We've come back up, we've reacted from it, so I won't be surprised if we go further down. Okay, but guys, each and every one of this level, what are we waiting for? We're waiting for a clear market structure to change. We're waiting from going from printing lower lows and lower highs to higher lows and higher highs. And we're waiting for market cipher to do what it does. Tell us when that turning point is going to occur. Okay, so those are my levels. Of course, we've got these tiny 1 minute levels and over here, but at the moment, I'm not really looking at them at the moment. Perhaps I might be looking at this 12-minute level to see if we are going to get that reaction here off this level. And if that's the case, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to let you guys know that this is a level I'm also looking out for just a scalp, a scalp long. And in order to enter this trade, I'm looking for market cipher and market structure to do something like this. So at the moment, we're printing lower highs and lower lows. So as we come into that level, I want to see, are we going to get a nice change in market structure from lows to the highs? And then can I enter at a retracement up? So that's what I would be looking out for at that level. Make sure you are waiting for clear breaking structure. Okay, so this is a breaking structure. We call it a boss. All right, remember, no change, no trade. Okay, so going into weekend, that's kind of what I'm looking at. I'm sure there are more trades. There's always more trades to take, but that's sort of what catches my eye in the immediate short term. So we've got a short from that 45-minute zone. We have a long from this 4-hour zone. This is a key zone. Definitely watch that zone. So we're going to put an alert there. Okay, not a line. We're going to put an alert there. All right, it's not letting me at the moment. Maybe because I'm on replay. Get rid of that. So we're going to put an alert there. And we're also going to put an alert up there. And we're going to put an alert in the case we come down to that zone that we're looking out for. All right. So that's it, guys. Remember, always wait for your confirmations before you enter any trade. If you found this information useful, if you want more setups like this, feel free to drop me a follow and stay tuned. I'll see you on Monday.